right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Indigenous Media, Indigenous Now. And I'm rubbing my hands together because we got something juicy today. We got Stormee Kipp. He is a warrior himself. He is an actor. He is a person that runs for political office. He is a business leader. He is an inspirational individual here in Indian country, somebody that we can all look up to. Now, I know, Stormee, you're definitely a humble individual. You might even shake off some of those compliments that I just gave you. But at the same time, I got to say, from the moment that I met you back in 2024 at Res, you've done some pretty inspirational stuff since then, since 2024. And man, I just want to dive into your story a little bit more, kind of figure out what it is behind Stormee Kipp that makes him tick. Like, what is it that keeps you going and stuff like that. But before we even jump into that, man, I want to give you the opportunity as well to kind of introduce yourself a little bit more and tell us the things that we need to know in order to kick off your story.
Oh shit, things that we need to know. Fuck. I'm just an Indian, bro. That's all I am. Just an Indian. Look, every now and then I get that. Must be that nomad in me. I got that gene for adventure. I like going out there, seeing some things, doing some things. Well, actually, when you go see some things, sometimes you ended up doing some things. Yeah, but that's really it. I'm just an Indian, just like you, me. Fucking just an Indian. I like going places, and sometimes I end up doing some things.
No, I mean, like, if anything, that adventure is just kind of woven into the blood, right? It's like we want to go, we want to see what the rest of the world has to offer. I personally love doing that myself. I mean, somebody asked me the other day, they're like, if you had all the money in the world, what would you do? And I'm like, I'd just go explore. Like, that's the only thing. Like, I'd go dig holes somewhere. Like, I'd go, like, tunnel under a tree or, like, go, like, just exploring different new territories. Like, that's the thing that I really would love to do. But, in the world that we live in, unfortunately, we have to make money. We have to, provide a living and stuff like that in order to support our lifestyles, even if that lifestyle is traveling. And so, jumping into it with you, kind of like, what would you say is probably some of the most important things, or even just bringing it back, man? Like, how did you know you were going to be on the path that you were going to be on way back when?
Oh, fucking. All right, so I have a wall of like a bunch of pictures from my life, and I'll show you one of them. See that?
Yeah.
So there's my cousin Brian with the buffalo helmet. Uh, my close friend Nakey right here with the roach on, and I'm in the middle with that war shield. Yeah, and I mean that's pretty much it. We're on a little war horses. I've always wanted to be a warrior. That's ever since like it's just in the blood, man. That's something I've always wanted to do.
Yeah.
When little kids were being asked, I remember this. We're in third grade or so. They're going around there asking people like, "Oh, what do you want to be when you grow up?" Or what are you gonna do when you get older? Some people are like, "Oh, I don't remember the answers they were given. They weren't great answers. They're actually kind of non-rememberable, but fuck, little kid answers, I guess." Mine was warrior. That's it, and that's something I've always wanted. Yeah, I think I've lived up to it pretty well so far.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. So what does it mean? I mean, that's a question that you've kind of brought to our attention, right? It's like, what does it mean to be a warrior to you?
Oh fuck, man. It's a complex answer for sure. It's definitely complex because it's different. It changes. Well, I got a good story for you actually. So we're in this place called Yavoriv. It's on the border of Poland and Ukraine, and we're doing some training over there. And we just got done doing some live fire exercises, and I'm sitting in the back behind the back, and we're with some Belarusians. Everyone's chilling, and they don't speak English, so I got a translator there doing the voices between us and the Ukrainians, the Yukis. Everything's going down, and I'm talking to this older gentleman. He had to be on his 50s. He's a Yuki, and I don't know why he was paired up with the Belarusians. But he was telling me a story about his grandfather, about how his grandfather was a warrior, fought in the war, and then he wanted to go back to combat, but he had to stay and take care of all these orphans, all these children who got orphaned. So he was taking care of them. Oh, nice, nice. And you told me that's his grandfather was a warrior. I was like, all right, all right. Because I asked him the same question: what's the difference between a soldier and a warrior? He told me that. I was like, all right, all right. And he said, what do you think? Well, the difference is, for me at least, it could be different for everyone else, but for me at least, soldiers do what they're told. If you give an order, they'll follow it. Warriors do what they have to. And that guy's grandfather had to stay and take care of all the children. He had to do what he had to. It's not what he wanted to do. His orders were to go back and start keep fighting. But he
Right.
did what he had to do. Soldiers do what they're told. Warriors do what they have to do. Very fine line, but that's what I think is the difference between the two. Warriors are, yeah. There's so many answers to that question. That's just one distinct between soldiers and warriors. I think is a very fine one. But what is a warrior? Fuck, man.
I mean, just kind of branching off from that statement there. I mean, warriors have to do what they have to do, right? Like, or warriors do what they have to do, as opposed to just soldiers following orders. So, being a warrior, and you may not think it, right? But a lot of us are warriors within Indian country, and um, it may not be, guns and bullets and everything like that all the time, or anything of that sort, right? Like, but there's different wars that are going on and stuff like that within Indian country itself, and kind of jumping into that. I mean, what is something that we all should be paying attention to within Indian country as far as being those warriors and the wars that we're having to fight within Indian country?
I got to correct you on something.
Go for it, man. Go for it without remorse.
I don't think that being a warrior is just guns and bullets. No, no. I think it's something far bigger. And this is something that ties into what you just said. What does Indian country need to look for? It's being psyoped. Oh, that's a big one, man. Being psyoped.
You got to explain that to me.
Psychological operations, man. That's what that
Okay.
is. And I see it on every reservation I've ever been to, the psyop. Now, we might jump into something, man,
Dude,
that
I love this
if you
conversation.
want me to get you into some shit, bro, I might get you into something that might get you on a no-fly list. If I start talking, bro, I might give you some shit that you might not be ready for, man.
Dude, that's crazy, bro. So yeah, so jump into the psyop on the Indian reservations. What's been going on, and how are we kind of being psychologically duped for the most part, or what's going on psychologically?
All right, bro, you might get on a no-fly list because I'm about to break some shit down for you.
Don't kill me, I gotta fly to Guatemala, man. I have a wedding to attend, my own wedding here in April next year. So
Yeah. So, with that being said, essentially, a psyop is psychological operations, and every military uses them from the beginning of time to the end of time. And there's different ways people implement them into how they do it. But if you want some keys on what I'm talking about, read Economic Hitman is a perfect example. And I'll tell you some reservation history actually. So in the had to be in like the 50s, 1950s here in Fort Hall, Idaho. My grandfather was running for council at the time. As he was running for council, there came up some issues, some big issues with the land. As any other reservation, the government's trying to take more land away, and they're trying to put things through that they shouldn't be putting through. So there's some fighting going on. So any reservation during the termination era. As that was going down, he was running against an Edmo. And the Edmos, or in the council, you couldn't run if at that time it's changed since then, but at that time the policy was if you're a felon you can't run for council. That used to be a rule. It's no longer a rule. So the government brought in this Edmo, and he was a felon, so he couldn't run. But then he got a pardon from the president. Is he the president or the governor at the time? One of the two. It was so the 50s. I think it was during Eisenhower's era, during the termination era. Don't quote me on the president, but so he gets a pardon. All right, the election happens, and they ended up getting a tie. Well, now they have to have a recount. The people who are recounting it is the BIA. When the BIA does the recount, my grandfather loses the election. All right. Some things to that. Then after that, the reservation, a lot of the Fort Hall res was sold off at like 2 cents an acre, pennies on the dollar, shit like that. A lot of those things were pushed in because they fixed and rigged an election. And if you read the book Economic Hitman, you can see it go from the micro to the macro on scales of that. Because once they finish rolling it out here on the Indian reservations, they test it here first, then they go do it to a third world country. It's like if you're in a lab, you test it in the lab before you go and do it in a larger scale so you can understand your results. It's a fixed arena, and then you scale it out.
Right.
Yeah, that's just one example. I mean, there's thousands of that incidents of that happening on different reservations. But the psyops is something that to bring it all back together. The psyops is when they're telling you something, whether it's from your tribal council or whether it's from the news. Ask yourself a simple question of in academia, they really criticize this for us is what are their sources? Because when you cite something, you don't cite Wikipedia for a source on a paper you're writing. You cite a valid, like this is where they got their information from. This is their data, a valid source. All right. So when you're being told something, ask yourself this: where did they get that information, and who told it to them?
Right.
Because that'll make you understand it. Is this their original idea, or is this something that they heard and they just can't do critical thinking on their own thoughts, so they have to bring it up somewhere else? That's just being subliminal messaging sometimes, or it's directly from XYZ when it's completely not the case. So being able to have that ability to do critical thinking outside of what you're being told. Is this a true statement, or is there something bigger at play that I'm not seeing?
Right.
Those are just small incidences for the
Well, I
side.
think that's completely valid. I mean, I think a lot of people they do get fed. Like, for instance, um, you know, we had the general election for president of the United States, right? Donald Trump wins, and then after that, what ends up being a headline is that it said, Native Americans, 65% of natives voted for Donald Trump. And I was like, what the heck are you talking about? Like, where'd you get the poll from, first of all? Like, I didn't see any survey come across my desk. I didn't get to vote on anything or anything like that. So it was just like, who is it that told you this info? Um, and so then it was like you read further into it, and then you realize that the actual information was provided uh, from like a survey of like I think it was like 100 or 200 people, and then from there, um, the actual poll was taken not on reservation land, right? And it's like, well, if you're not gonna, you know, go on reservation land and actually take this poll, then how do you actually know, And then also too, like, I mean, and so it came out that it's like, well, this isn't really representative of like what natives on reservations are thinking about or talking about or anything like that. And then even there was something else too. It was like another thing, and it was like, um, oh, that the natives want to change the name back to the Cleveland Indians, right? And it was like, what? And they're like, yeah, they say that natives want to change the name back to Cleveland Indians. And I'm like, okay, well, let's go to the petition, right? So there's a petition on change.org, and there's like 19,000 signatures, right? And it's not necessarily that they're all native or whatnot, right? There's no way to like determine whether the person's native based on the fact that they signed a petition, right? So um, I'm like, okay, there's 19,000, but literally in the United Human Nation, just down in Louisiana, they have 19,000 members. So like, there's millions of natives out there. It's not just like you can't just be like, oh, all natives want the name change back because there's 19,000 people that signed a petition, like that doesn't represent everybody. So that just kind of goes further into that psychological operation of like, dude, people are just like duping people just based off of
Yeah.
they're like just trying to throw out stats and then be like, oh yeah, yeah, this is accurate.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. The psyop, man. It's you got to watch for it. You got to understand. You got to do some critical thinking.
Yeah.
That's a tough part. That's a tough part, but it's doable. It's doable. And if you can see through it, you can see through a lot of things.
So where do you
Especially
think
in
that?
business. Especially in
Yeah,
fucking business,
that's
man.
true. Yeah, big time in business. So where do you
Oh,
think most younger generations, right? Because it's not so much that it's like we're easy to get duped as far as younger generations. It's more so that we're the next generation coming up. So we can't necessarily, uh, be looking only to our elders and stuff like that all the time. Like I'm, for instance, I'm 36. So I'm at a point now to where it's like, no, I got to start taking some responsibility of the direction that we're going within Indian country and my role in it, right? So, where is it that like possibly we're getting duped as a younger generation coming up?
in what sense?
I guess you could say like in the sense of us all just moving forward, like moving forward as one or moving forward as individual tribes, or like, are we
No.
starting to get sold on an identity that really isn't ours?
The only time I've ever seen the tribes united in modern history was during the Standing Rock incident. That's the only time I've ever seen tribes truly come together. I
Okay.
guess the only time in my mind I can think of it would probably be Wounded Knee in the 70s, or Little Bighorn before that. I mean, I could be wrong, but as for my memory, those are the only times I could see the tribes really coming together was incidents of that big. Otherwise, every tribe is doing their own thing, man.
Right.
For better or worse, they're doing their own thing.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that's tough. I mean, is just understanding an individual role within, within Indian country. For me, I've kind of started grasping onto the role of like, hey, I'm starting to mold myself into this digital storyteller, right? Like I'm here to help people tell their stories, get those stories out there so that way people can understand the individuality, but at the same time the uniqueness of like the solidarity behind some of the words. Like there's a lot of similarities in what a lot of people talk about, especially when it comes to entrepreneurs and ideas and stuff. So kind of jumping off of that into, your role. What do you feel like your role, in being that warrior, um, as far as your acting career, your career as a business entrepreneur? Like, tell me more about your story there. Like, where did all of that stuff kind of get started?
Oh, shit. Damn. Those are all different avenues. I guess the movie stuff, I mean, fuck, man, I'll tell you this. Movie money's different. That's the main reason. Otherwise, I wouldn't really do movies. That's the only main. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. Most of it's just move money. Otherwise, I wouldn't really do it. It's I'm a hired gun, right? Fucking oh yeah, that's how it is. A hired gun, mercenary for hire when it comes to that stuff. I don't really see because you're telling how it works in Hollywood is you got some writer who's non-indigenous writing the script, and then you just go and act it out. So it's very different. I mean, now that's changing with different. It's changing recently, but as far as I can tell you, from '70s till probably last 5 years, it's mostly been that way. So I mean, I'm just a hired gun, man. It's how it is with the movie stuff. To the highest bidder I go.
Nice, man. And so, would you say like because you've been dealing with a lot of individuals that are possibly like not indigenous, writing the scripts and stuff, right? Um, are you starting to see more indigenous storytellers and writers coming along, or is that still something that's super far away?
I did a movie in Romania, right? It was the Django one that's on Netflix now. Not the one with Jamie Foxx, it was the other one. And we're in Romania, we're shooting it. And there's me and a couple other Blackfeet. We're shooting it. We're doing the stunts on the movie. We're just doing the horse riding. and there's one guy who walks through like 40 of us. One dude walks through like 40 Indians. And I've been to actual combat. That's just not the case. One dude walking through like 40 guys just like that. You're like, ah, come on now. Right? So that's a big stretch from the actual truth.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, shit like that. I mean, but I just went for a paycheck, got to go to travel to another country for free, got to ride horses and act in a movie. I was like, fuck yeah, sure. Yeah. So I'm not the expert to be saying this is what the direction we're heading. I mean, better or worse. I mean, I don't know, man.
You're like, better or worse, I'm getting a paycheck. I'm getting to
Yeah,
travel. I'm getting
yeah,
to go to different places.
yeah. I don't really. When it comes to the movie activism, not someone else got to do that because it's not really my thing, man. I'm more of if I'm gonna be into the actions of a movement, I want to know, is this a valid movement?
Right.
Like Standing Rock was a perfect example. Is that a valid movement? In my mind, it is because long term, long term, fracking and doing that sort of oil movement, sure it does. It powers makes all the wheels turn around. There's all the benefits to it. But long term, long term, it's devastating to the ecological area around it. Just
Right.
destroys it. As well as, if you want a perfect example, look at Flint, Michigan. Their water's fucked. And if you want to look at what it's going like now in the Dakotas after the Vulcan boom, I mean, a lot of their water's fucked too. And at the end of the day, man, you can't drink oil. You can only
Yeah,
drink
you're right.
water.
You can't
Yeah,
drink
so
oil. Like,
yeah. So why the fuck you fucking up your water for the next 10 generations?
right.
And you may say, oh, well, like, hey, that's just a matter of fact, all right? Say what you want, but you can't drink oil. So that's something I'd be like, all right, this is something to be very, I'd be down to say something about that.
Right.
But when it comes to the Hollywood stuff, it's all make believe, man. It's not real. It's not real history. It's just make believe.
Yeah.
And 100 years from now, what's gonna matter more? That's the way I kind of look at it. I look at it when I'm doing shit. It's like, what's gonna matter more in 100 years? All right, well, fucking trying to not make sure that oil gets put up. Because hey, some people make a lot of money on it, sure, but not everybody. But everyone drinks water, and that's far more important than anything.
That's one of the
That's the way I
things
see
that I
it.
look at, when I go on my fishing adventures and show and stuff like that. I'm like, look, the reason why I'm kind of like wanting to bring an indigenous atmosphere to this is because of the fact that it's like water connects us all.
Yeah.
So, we're 65, 70% water. The earth is no different, 65, 70% water. And also, too, it's like, how are we protecting that resource? How are we making sure that we're not polluting it, not fracking and bringing those oils and toxins and stuff into the groundwater, or not, over exhausting any type of well or anything like that, too. Those are definitely things I can stand with. I know over in Mojave Valley, where I'm originally from, they're looking at putting in a natural gas plant like a mile away from the nearest agricultural land, and it's like, why? Like, what is it that you need this excess power for? Like, it's funny because like in my hometown, we have a dam, right? And we have a dam called the Davis Dam in Laughlin, Nevada. It's on the border of Laughlin and Bullhead City, and so um, this dam on the top of the dam, you can go and you can read like the different placards and stuff, and you see this one that says these five turbines can actually these five turbines can actually power 1 million homes. And I'm
Oh,
like, there's not
nice.
even 1 million homes in this area. What are you talking about? Like, there's not even 1 million people. Like, there's literally like in in that tri-state area, and I'd have to say, and actually in all of Mojave County, I think there's like 270,000 people, and that's all of Mojave County. I'm talking about like the general area of like Mojave Valley, Bullhead City, Laughlin, Nevada, Needles, California, those areas specifically. There's probably less than 100,000 people. And I'm like, so you're telling me that this dam right here can power 1 million homes, but where does that power go to? And it goes off to California, right? Like it's like located in Nevada and Arizona, but the power that's generated goes to the grid and gets sold in California. And it's like why are we allowing this to happen? And then allowing companies to come in and be like, we have a lack of power, so we're going to need to build a power generation plant for natural gas. And it's like, you have a power plant right up the road that you could literally just reroute power and just stop selling it to California, and you could sell it for the general area here. Everybody could literally be living here for free, like
Oh yeah.
no power bill whatsoever. But because of, profits and greed and capitalism and stuff like that, right? Certain aspects of capitalism, right? There's certain aspects that are good, but when it starts getting into the monopolies and stuff like that, it's like why? Like what is it that you guys absolutely need? Like, do
You
you
know,
really, really, really need to like take this power away from this general area where it's supposed to be used here and ship it off to another state completely where people probably shouldn't be living anyways because there's a lack of resources. So it's like weird.
oh shit. Hey man, Monopoly's only bad when you're not in it.
Yeah. Monopoly's only bad when you're not the leader in the game, man. When you don't have all the hotels, you're screwed.
When you don't got the hotels, man, you're screwed, man. If you're not the one owning it, if you don't got the railroads, you're
Yeah, if
like,
you
well,
don't have
fuck.
the railroads, man, you're done.
Uh,
Like, it's crazy to me though. It really blows my mind because like you were saying, there's certain movements and stuff. Like there's certain things like I mean, you hop online right now and you see like people getting canceled or people getting silenced and everything like that. And it's like, yeah, that stuff is like whatever. But at the same time, I'm like, well, there's a lot of other stuff that's going on, especially in Indian country, missing and murdered indigenous women, those movements and stuff like that too, where it's like, hey man, there's actual people that are like going missing and like
yeah,
nobody's investigating it. Like I just got done watching Wind River the other day for like the second or third time, and I'm just like, man, like
yeah, Wind River.
that stuff
Fuck.
is tragic. It's like real too, and it's like even with that movie, right? Like even with a guy as big as Gil Birmingham and Jeremy Renner in the movie and stuff like that, it's like even still, like people choose to like turn a blind eye to it.
Well, shit, man. Yeah. Well, fuck, man. We can. There's a lot that goes. Ah, damn. There's a lot that. Mm,
I mean, there's a lot that goes to it. He's got it on the brain.
yeah, there's definitely things I want to say about key elements on that. And the truth part is, I'll give you an example. In the Blackfeet Res, there's cases like that happen quite a bit, and the people get mad, wanting to please do anything about it. Here's the brutal truth, because I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna call it how it is, man. It's not outside people doing it. It's our own people doing it to each other. On the Blackfeet Res, at least, I could say that for a fact. That's the truth. It's not the Hispanic people or the white guys or the Asians or the blacks coming in. Yeah, it's not them. It's our own people doing it to each other. That's what's happening for the MMIWs
Yeah.
or the MMIPs, whatever one or both of the cases. That's what's happening. It's not outside sources. It's our own people doing it to each other, and then they do take them to the markets. That's what's happening, and that's the damn truth. And the reason why it doesn't come to light is for whether it's their cousin who's doing it and they're saying, "Oh, well, shit, you know what? I'm just gonna turn a blind eye," or or there's not my problem, right? But they all want to make a Facebook post about it. It's like, well, making a Facebook post isn't gonna do anything.
Right.
If you want actual change, you got to get on the ground. Well, apparently everyone's too good to do that, or they're scared or whatever reason. That's that's the damn truth, man. It's our own people doing it to each other.
Well, I'm, kind of going on that, right? Like it's like people too scared. What is your thought here? Because I was thinking about this the other day and I was like, you know what? At what point? Because I was talking to somebody and we're talking about, the politics side of things and everything like that. And it's like, at what point do we just denounce being American citizens in general, right? And just be native? Like whatever tribe you're at, like at what point do you say, I'm gonna stop being scared and we're just going to be native. We're not American citizens, and we're going to step forward and go that way. Because, and the reason I bring that up is because of the fact that it's like we're trying so hard to beat a system from within the system itself. We're trying to get creative with laws. We're trying to get creative with movements and stuff like that. But we're doing it from within the system that was meant to keep us suppressed, anyways.
I
So
see what
it's
you're saying.
like, at what point do you just stop doing that and just say, you know what? Instead of being an American citizen and a native, I'm just native. Like, and if we're gonna go to war, then we're going to war. Like it's like, hey, you know what? Like we can't beat your system from within your system. Like it's just not going to happen. You have to think outside the box. And in order to think outside the box, you have to get outside the box.
I got some answers. I got some answers.
Let's do it.
But hey, man, I'm trying to keep you on that fly list, remember? I'll keep you on that fly list. Next question.
Oh man. Well, no, I mean, like we'll definitely have to cover that a different time. But yeah,
Yeah,
it's just it because it really kind of does make me think. Like it's like, well, how are you gonna like the laws and stuff? I mean, you can create all kinds of laws and everything like that, but if you don't have the people that are up there in favor of you that are going to interpret the law in your favor, then it doesn't really matter. Like you can create as many laws as you want, but like the goal of the Supreme Court is to defend the United States, when it really comes down to it, right? Like yes, we want to have that equality under the law, but ultimately, like if there is no United States, then there's no Supreme Court. So, like if I'm a Supreme Court justice, then we're going to be defending the people that employ us.
that's true. Well, this is a saying I heard a while back. The Americans may have the best Rolexes in the world, nicest watches, but us Bakunis have all the time in the world. Now you can apply that to any tribe. I mean, sometimes you just gotta outweight people. Look at the Afghanistan people. They outweighted the Americans. Took 20 years of pure fighting. Sometimes you just gotta outweight them. That might be the solution. You're just outweighting them because eventually America will come and go, but the tribes will still be here. When the when they all want to leave the Earth and they want to go to Mars and the moon because Earth's no longer livable and they want to leave, we'll still be here. We'll still be here to protect the Earth. We'll still be here, man.
And everything will just kind of flow back into normal.
Oof, I won't be around when that happens.
I mean,
My time had come and gone.
I don't know, man. Mars, it seems like they're trying to get there real quick. I think they already have a lady that's like, we're gonna go to Mars, and I plan on never coming back. And I'm like, oh wow, just straight up, Matt Damon, the Martian, gonna be living off potatoes up there.
Fuck that, man.
That's wild. Oh man. So jump into your other stuff too, man. I want to know more about your businesses because when you told me that you're doing like POS sales and stuff, I was like, what? Like this guy is lead entrepreneur. What's going on, man? So tell me some more about the business side of Stormee.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So, oof. I'm currently running because I understand the basic concept that if there's only certain hours, if you work a 9 to 5, there's only a certain amount of days you can work and get paid. But you got to make money while you sleep. And if you don't make money while you sleep, you'll never be to that upper level of wealth. And with that upper level of wealth, that comes real change. Now, will I ever get there? Will I get shot in the process? Fuck, I don't know. I can't tell you, man. I can't see the future like that. Because if I'm when I make it to the upper level of wealth, I understand what it means. And certain entities won't like what that means. And it's a very fine difference. Because I Googled this the other day. There's no Native American billionaires that I know of. And I can find, yeah, sure, we have millionaires here and there, but billionaires, that's a real difference. And when you get to that level of status, especially being indigenous, that look like you and I, the powers that be may not want that to happen because it represents something far bigger than just one. And that's something that I understand with when it comes to money as well as you can only work so many hours in the day, and if you want to make money, a lot of money, you have to make it while you sleep as well.
Right.
So I'm incorporating some systems right now that involve that. And I got a couple of businesses that I'm scaling to size. So yeah, that's what those are. I mean, I think November. I think November I'll be launching my vape shop. I have a full-on vape shop. That'll be 24 hours. That's the goal. In November I'll be launching that, and that'll just be a pull-up store, brick and mortar one. There's just one of them, and then there's gonna be some other shit that's going on with that. I got the everything's coming together. That's just one of the businesses, the vape shop, and that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other ones that I'm currently pushing the envelope on. But yeah, that's what I've come to understand.
Nice, man. And so, kind of like understanding that it's like, hey, it's a whole nother level once you reach billionaire status, right? Like you have the ability to help out different communities, you have the ability to fund different movements and stuff like that. Um, you know, what are some of the challenges that you've come across as a younger entrepreneur? Just that other entrepreneurs are going to come across, and how would you coach them through it?
Yeah, so it depends on the area that you're in. I think all problems are differ from the whether the tribal nation you're in or the city that you rely or stay and reside. So the problems are a little bit different. So I can tell you problems that I faced off the reservation and problems I faced on the reservation because they're very different. Very, very different. The ones I've faced on the reservation, I'm pretty sure you're familiar with it as well, is the basic crab pot theory or pigs in a python are some of the
Yep.
things I have come against. I mean, that's a basic one. Jealousy is a huge one, especially on the reservation, because everyone knows everyone, and they're like, "Oh, that fucker's getting too big. We gotta pull him down," and things like that. You're like, "Well, come on now, what are you doing here?" So that's a big thing that you'll run into a lot is just a lot of jealousy, especially if you want to do business with the tribal government. Because if you can do business with the tribal government, that's a multi-billion-dollar industry. There's people inside the tribal government who don't like you because you're just doing better than them. So they're gonna do
Right.
whatever it takes to pull you down. So that's some things that I've ran into on the reservation that I haven't ran into when I'm off. When I'm off the reservation, the other problems I face are completely different. But that's what I faced on is just a lot of jealousy, a lot of hate. It's like,
Yeah, no, I know exactly what you're talking about when it comes to the jealousy. I've never heard the pigs in a python thing, so you're gonna have to jump into the actual metaphor of what that looks like, because I want to know what the illustration looks like. But the crab pot theory, right? The crab's bringing you down. And you're right. Doing business with the tribal government it could be a multi-million-dollar business, right? And the thing that's so annoying for me anyways, from what I've experienced, is that tribal council is so involved with making people happy as opposed to like, hey, this would be beneficial for our tribe. This would be beneficial for our people in the long run.
yeah,
But the moment that that check comes across the accounting office and then people start to gossip like,
yeah,
oh, this guy's doing too good. This guy's getting too much money. All of a sudden, all that support that was initially there when they could keep it under wraps, right? When they could keep it away from the people per se. But now that somebody in accounting knows and somebody from accounting is able to tell so and so in this department or so and so in this department how much an individual is getting paid, right?
yeah,
Now all of a sudden they're like, no, we can't support this anymore. Even though it might be good for our tribe and our people, we can't do it anymore because people are starting to talk and we just don't want to ruffle any feathers, especially during election season and stuff like that.
yeah,
So it really sucks because it's like, whoa, wait a second. Because what's funny is you would pay a non-tribal vendor that no problem.
yeah,
And because the people don't know who that person is, you have no problem whatsoever paying them because the people are going to look at it and be like, oh, that's just another vendor. But if they see Robert Jacobo's name on the check, they're like, no, we know that freaking guy. He's not. No, why are we paying him that much money? And why are we not paying someone like me that much money? And then it starts getting around and
yep,
it's like what the heck, man? Like we don't support our own people. And it's kind of interesting because a lot of times people come around and they're like, well, what's the challenges? What's the challenges in Indian country? Well, like it's unfortunate because we have things like high suicide rates and we have this and we have that. And, it's just hard being a native and like cultural appropriation. I'm like, no, man, the biggest challenge I've ever faced is my own people.
Oh yeah,
Like,
yeah. Fuckers
no
hate.
joke, like hands down, like are some of the hardest challenges I've ever faced because of the criticism and stuff that goes along with it. And then having to answer every single thing. And then when you do answer, it's like a revolving door of questions that just never end to try to get you caught up in something that you can't answer. And then they go, as soon as you can't answer a question, they go, see, he's not as good.
Look, I'm
Why are
preaching
we
to the
paying him?
choir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, dude, that is like and no one ever wants to talk about it. They're always like scared to talk about it. And it's like, no, man, that is like probably one of the hardest things. And people are looking at it like we had a individual at one of the ITCN conferences, and they were like, hey, we don't support our people, like for instance, like the black community, right? Like they have like the NAACP and everything like that. They really become united, and when they're in a room together, they're not snobby towards each other. If you see two black people in a room together, they usually give each other a head nod or some type of supportive action, right? Like, and then you have natives in a room together. If it's not at a massive conference, it's like as if like they're opposing energies. They're like, nah, man, I got to be the token native. Like people got to
Uh-huh.
know that I'm native,
Now
as
I,
opposed to
yep, yep. You're hitting on it.
yeah,
Now my question
yeah.
to you is: have you run into this? 'Cause most of my problems come from ugly chicks. Now my question to you: do you have that same problem?
No, man. Next question. No, they're like, oh man, does he get a lot of flack from ugly chicks? You're like, I gotta know. I gotta know. No, man, but I was saying, I was like, I don't really get it from like anybody that's ugly or anything. What I get it from is like the people that have been, what? It's like the 10-year people, right? Like the people that have been working there for freaking years, like 20 years, and then all of a sudden they see a $20,000 check come because I'm building a website, like, and it's like, yo, like, that money doesn't all just go to me, right? Like, I got to hire developers. I got to hire people that are going to do, like user interface and user design, like work. So, like, no, it doesn't just all go to me. Like, I'm a business and I like disperse that money amongst the people that are going to be doing the project. So, but yeah, when they see that money come to me, they're like, "What's going on? Like, why is it that he's getting that much money?" And like, what? I'm like, "Yo, whoa, whoa, whoa! Like, take it easy. I'm a business. We should be supporting native businesses. Like, I'm surprised that like we don't have some type of bidding process to where it's like, hey, like if you're a native business, bid on this, so that way we can choose you, and or we can actually put you up against the other businesses that are bidding on this and give you some native preference, because we have native preference when it comes to hiring and stuff like that. So it's like, why would we not have native preference when it comes to hiring contractors if the contractor is capable of doing the job?
This might be something to look into. So depending on if your reservation has it, it's called taro, and a lot of reservations do have it, and that is an area. What I've come to understand is the taro guidelines, whatever they have for their workers and their guidance and their ordinances they have in place, don't match what the tribal government has, and
Right.
that's why things don't jail. Because otherwise, you can make the complaint or the statement saying, "Hey, I'm an Indian tribal member, XYZ, but you gave it to an outside vendor where I'm here, so why is that?" And you take your complaint up the chain that way. Would be
Right.
Yeah, but so that's what I've ran into a lot is the tarot doesn't match the tribal side of ordinances. That's why it doesn't mix that way. It should. It should theoretically, in theory. That's why tarot's there.
Right. That's why tarot's there, and it's unfortunate because like they go, oh well, we're gonna run this up the chain of command, and then we'll go process it through tribal court, and that's like trying to sue the United States at the Supreme Court level, trying to sue tribal council at the tribal court level, and you're like, yeah, they they're the ones that employed the judge, so. But yeah, man, like it's crazy because like a lot of people don't want to talk about like what is they always put it outside the community, which is annoying because it's like, look, it's not always outside the community that is our biggest challenge. Our biggest challenge a lot of times comes from within the community. And then they always want to be super supportive and stuff like that on Facebook. But like, for instance, I've applied multiple times for like boards and like commissions and stuff like that within my own tribe. I'm like, I went to college, I got my bachelor's degree, I've opened multiple businesses before. Why would I not be a good suit to be on, an education board? Like that doesn't even make sense. Like, and then they're like, well, like we had this, and like no joke, I remember one time I applied for a board seat, and I got to the point where I was like pissed about it, right? Like I was like, okay, you know what? I'm applying for this board seat, but I'm gonna make a YouTube or a reel. I'm gonna make a reel, and I'm gonna tell people that I applied for this board seat, so that way I could see how much, like, uh, how much backing I can actually get to like. And people were like, "Hey, good job, congratulations on applying." Da da da. And then my cousin, who happened to be on tribal council at the time, he told me, he's like, "Yeah, a couple of the tribal council members are pissed because you made that reel. Like, it makes it unfair to other people." I'm like, "It's not unfair. I just know how to use technology. What are you talking about? It's use like." And they got pissed. And the thing that was funny is I didn't even get the seat. They ended up giving it to somebody else, and I was like, "Okay, I don't get it anymore, guys. Like that doesn't even make any sense." Especially because the person that beat me, like I'm like, in what way is that person qualified? Like I definitely have way more qualifications than that other individual. But I get it. I understand the concept of nepotism and stuff, and I'm not even gonna blame them for it. I'm gonna be like, look, I get you, I understand, and I understand. Look, you're just looking out for your family. You're looking out for the people that you care about the most. Get it? I get it. I'm not on that list. That's all right. But at the same time, at the same time, you now have to look at that, right? And be like, hey, history is written by the conquerors for the most part, right? So it's like you're getting mad at the United States for doing to you as tribes what you do to your own people.
Oh, damn. I like that. It's
So
true.
it's like why? Why do you do this to your own people when we're collectively trying to fight against the same people that do that to us as tribes in general? Like, and it's like it blows my mind because it's like you're literally just being a copycat.
They fell for the psyop. They fell for the psyop, man. That's what it is. They fell for the psyop.
They fell for the psyop, man.
They fucking fell. Yeah. You know what? I'll tell you something that this old Indian guy told me one time. He's talking about our tribe. Looks at me. Our people are retarded. I was like, look, it's a valid statement.
Oh my god, dude.
And there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. Because during the Indian Wars, a lot of the tribes had this. So, of course, you had all the warriors went and fought, and some of them didn't make it back 'cause that's how war is. But you also have to remember, there's a lot of Indians who went straight to the reservation the first time they were told. They said, "Oh, okay, you give us free food, want to do nothing? We get to hang around the fort." The hang around the fort Indians, man. They went straight there. First time they were asked, there was like, "Wait, you guys aren't even gonna put up a fight?" And what happened is, well, after the wars ended, there was a lot more of them than there was actual fucking warriors left who said, "No, I'm not gonna comply to you guys." And that's why a lot of the people are like that, man, because their genes got passed down and just kept getting passed down to nowadays where we got all their I want to say bad bloodlines, shit bloodlines. They fell for the psyop, and that's why a lot of the tribal members are like that. I won't say on every reservation, but on a majority of them, is the hang around the fort Indians.
Right. And it's like what at what point do you become a warrior, right? Like it's like, yeah, you could post some stuff on Facebook or on Instagram or on YouTube or whatever, right? Like, but at the same time, like there's a lot of people that are scared of judgment, right? Like we're gonna post this video, right? Like, and it's like, well, sure, we'll do a little bit of editing here and there, but for the most part, our message is gonna get out there. People might judge us based off of our conversation or whatnot, but it's like that's fine, man. Because I always look at it like this: you can either be a producer or a consumer. There's no other option. Okay, like either you're producing something or you're consuming something. If you're the one that's judging people, like a majority of the time, you're the consumer. Like the billionaires are the producers because they're producing the things by which people are consuming. right? And so it's like you can't become a billionaire by being a consumer. Like it just doesn't happen. So it's like if you want to produce, like you got to produce. But going back to the warrior aspect of it, it's like you can't just sit there and like post like, oh man, I can't believe like this is happening, or we're gonna start reform, or let's stand for legalization of marijuana or anything like that. It's like, no, man, you gotta like get on the front lines, you gotta get to the forefront, not be afraid to have your face shown, right? And not be afraid of the judgment, of which, by the way, the judgment usually comes from people that typically don't matter. You know, as a collective Indian country, it's like we got to start becoming producers. We got to start becoming producers for our people. And not only that, but like we got to start hiring our people. We got to start like supporting our people and becoming business owners. And like our job as tribes and tribal governments should be, I want to support you to build your vape shop. Why? Because I want to support you to build your vape shop so that way I can buy your vape shop. So that way I know that like just like you were saying, you got to make money in your sleep, right? So like the tribe should be having that same thought process. I got to make money in our sleep, right? So like it's like what can I do? What business can I
Hey,
build, or what
hey, you're
business?
thinking too big now, man. All right, you're thinking too big. You're using too much. You're using too many big words for these cats. All right.
But what I'm saying is like for real though, they got to like start thinking on the aspect of like, hey man, like I'm gonna hire Stormee in a way, and not necessarily hire you, but provide you the economic infrastructure as far as like, hey, here's a line of credit, or here's like a grant that we're gonna provide to you, so that way you can build up your business. Because once you build it up, and once we see it actually turn into profit, what we're gonna do is we're gonna buy it from you. One of the biggest things for tribes is like their lack of PR departments. It's like, dude, just let me come in here and let me help you out. Like, I don't understand why it's so difficult. Like, and it's like, no, no. And then what they do is they hide behind curtains, like, well, we got to protect our digital sovereignty, like, because if we put anything on the internet, it's going to get stolen. I'm like, what are you talking about, man? Like, half the stuff that you put on like the people on the internet know more about you than you know about yourself. But ultimately, like we have to realize that by shielding our words, by sheltering everything, and by not getting it out there, we're actually doing ourselves a little bit of a disservice, because now uh, our next generations that are really interacting with these things like phones and stuff like that aren't getting the opportunity to see our cultures in action.
Hmm. 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 I don't know if I agree with that.
Go ahead, man. Lay it out.
Culture, or should I say, it could be culture. There's different words to describe it, but let's just use culture because that's the most common one. It could be your heritage. It could be that. For there's things that should be online and things that shouldn't be online, because what makes us unique from my tribe to your tribe to right, the Cherokees are different from the Chickasaw. The Chickasaw are different from the Blackfeet. The Blackfeet are different from the Showbands. The Shoshone are Wind River Shoshones are different from the Apache. Right. What makes us individually is our culture, and you can't learn culture through a phone. It has to be taught in person, and that's the difference. And everything shouldn't be online. Something should be online. Like, hey, we're having this celebration. Some elders are going to be speaking. Come through. That okay? That's online. Lets everybody know. But the teachings of that culture. Now, this is my independent thought here. It should be learned in person. It's not meant for everybody. They call it privileged knowledge.
Right.
Yeah,
No, and I agree with you on that, right? There are some things that it's like, hey, it's privileged, right? If you're gonna use it, like be in person, right? The most respectful thing to be is be in person. But at the same time, I gotta say that if we have some of the things, right, that are able to be on there, like you're at a powwow, and you want to be able to, like showcase the dances and stuff like that, or if like you're wanting to teach somebody beadwork, right, and you want to create a channel, say for instance, you want to create a channel and stuff like that, and you want to teach somebody how to do beadwork, right? and you can do it in your own fashion. You can do it your own silversmithing or anything like that. Like those things shouldn't be, uh, people shouldn't be scared to put those things online in a way of like, hey, like people are gonna, they're gonna steal it, you know, like, and that's the thing that's tough. But it's like, yeah, no, I agree with you that there's certain things like, I mean, like you're not gonna go and put funeral practices online, right? Like that's definitely not something that would be appropriate, right?
Hey man, I've seen that. I've seen that. I've seen that. They're like, hey, we should broadcast it. I've seen that, man.
That's not that's not a good idea.
I've seen it, bro.
Yeah. So
Makes you turn your head like, what? That guy just said.
what is that? What's going on right now? There's a burning body in the middle.
So
What's
that's
up? Yeah, no, it's it can get a little weird sometimes as far as the stuff that people want to share. But like for the most part, it's like, hey, like if you're having Mojave days, you know, you want to post that online and stuff like that. You want to post images of the event. You want to post video of the event and stuff. It's like, or you want to find a way to put your law and order codes online in a way that's like able to be accessed by your members, right, and your members only. Like it's not so much that we need to be scared of technology. It's more so that we need to dive further into technology. And I think that's what I was really trying to get at is we need to find a way to dive further into technology because it's a tool, right? Just like a bow and arrow is a tool. How do we dive into this technology in order to use it for us, for benefit of us, without necessarily strapping too many laws on it ahead of time?
mm,
Yeah, it's a fine line, man. It's tough.
yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, there's things my grandfather showed me that were only meant for me. I won't show nobody else that.
Right.
Because if you teach somebody else, and like, hey, this is how I taught you. Don't teach no one else this. And if you do teach someone else this, it's only meant for them. And that's a little bit of privileged knowledge we go back into. I agree with you. The digital age is here. We don't fight wars with bow and arrows anymore. So some things do need to be modernized. Digital sovereignty. I don't know enough about that to talk about it. I'll tell you this right now. I've heard the term,
Yeah.
but I'm no expert in the field to say, hey, this is what we should be doing.
To be honest, I don't think very many people are experts in the field of digital sovereignty. I think right now it's still at its infancy of being a buzzword.
But yeah, I can't tell you anything about it, so I can't speak on it. Yeah.
Oh man. So, if anything, man, like what are some of the more inspiring words that you have for like younger generations that are coming up with you and behind you?
Be brave. Just be brave, and if you're wrong sometimes, don't be afraid to admit you're wrong and learn from it. That's all I got, man. I'm no
He likes to claim that he's not an expert. He likes to
I'm not
claim
an
that
expert.
he's not the man. But you know what, man? Like I gotta say, like you're definitely an impressive individual and an impressive individual with your own thought process, right? Like you have your own brain. You recognize that you have your own brain. You recognize that there's this psychological operation that's going on within Indian country, both individual reservations as well as like the collective whole. And it's kind of interesting because like once you kind of bring that to light, it's like, yeah, how are people paying attention now? Are they actually paying attention to the point where they're asking those questions? They're asking what are these sources? Like, where is this coming from? You know, or are they just going with the flow because it's the easiest thing to do? They're the, what was it that you
Hang around the Ford Indians.
hang around the Fort Indians, right? Like, it's like, are they just hanging around the fort and just accepting the rations that are given to them on a daily basis? And it's like, now we all need to wake up and realize like yes, this must this might be like painful truth to hear, but like us as native nations a lot of times are treating our people just the same way that we're being treated. And like people in my generation, people in your generation, that's where the cycle needs to stop to where it's like, hey, we need to stop treating our people like this and we need to start supporting our people as much as possible to actually get businesses out there, to actually start doing economic development and stop lining up with the same damn jobs of working in the accounting office or just working in, the Boys and Girls Club or working at the casino, like it's like, no, like we got to get creative. We got to get new positions out there. We need to get more positions that are involved in like the digital atmosphere, this digital universe that's being created that we're not even taking part in right
Web
now.
3.0.
Right. Like it's like Web 3.0. Exactly, dude. Like it's like we're diving into this whole new generation, this whole new universe, and we're not even like prepared for it at all. Like it's like, no, we need to start creating these digital jobs, getting people involved in like creating, digital roadmaps and like and really diving into that stuff. And then also too creating positions to where they can start to create succession programs. To be honest, I gotta say the one thing that's weird is that we like to model our governments after the United States government a lot of times. And once again, we're trying to beat the system from within the system. But like what we don't have is term limits. Like, for instance, my tribal councilman, I think he's been a tribal council chairman for like 20 years.
Good man.
I'm like, I'm like, what are you doing? Like, we need some term limits here, man. Like I understand you can be reelected over and over again, but like maybe you should do like 4 years on, and then like after that, like you have to have 4 years off at a minimum, like before we can just reelect you again. Like, and I can understand too, like, okay, we have certain development projects that we want to see through or whatnot, but that's the issue is that we're not creating proper succession programs, and then what that's doing is hindering our people because now they're say that person passes away or something, right? They're not prepared because there was no idea for a succession program to come up behind that tribal leader. So it's like, what are we really preparing our kids for? And uh, I was watching a thing the other day, and it was like, we have so many of our kids that are just leaving the reservation, and it's like, yeah, because that's where the jobs are, man. Like, there's no jobs on the res that aren't working like beyond minimum wage and stuff, like, and it's like if I want to go get a job that I'm making $20 an hour, I gotta get off the res,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
that's just the truth. Like, it's not that I want to leave my res. My res is beautiful. I love my res. I love being able to live really close to the river and stuff like that. I love like the low cost of living, but at the same time, there's no job, like no job of like particular interest, right? Like I'm not going to sit around all day and like crunch numbers in the accounting office. That's not going to do it for me. Like that's not appetizing. Like
Hey,
I
some
want
people do that. Some people do it for 20 years.
right. And then you got to ask them like, it's like, is that what you really wanted to do, or was it because you were supporting your family the whole time? And it's like a majority of the time, it's like, oh, we were just supporting our family, and it's like, yeah, exactly, man. But if you had a chance to do what you really, really wanted to do, what would that be? And it's like a lot of times they're like, yeah, man, I would like go on adventures or I'd go exploring. Like I'd go travel the world. Like, and it's like we need to start creating things that allow people to do that and come back and still be welcomed in the community, as opposed to like you see a tribal member traveling the world and then you ridicule them when they come back.
That is so true. And if you don't know nothing all your life, you don't want nothing. That's the brutal truth of it.
Yeah.
And that's the case for, sad to say, for a lot of tribal members on any reservation. At the same time, I mean, I hate to say this, maybe it's a little bit of the Darwinism in me, but though it's the survival of the fittest. I mean, I hate to say that, it's selection, right? The they'll keep themselves so limited that if they don't branch into anything bigger, eventually their bloodlines will die out.
Right.
It may take a very long time, but that's the case. If you don't ever go beyond to become something, you're setting your family up for a tough life ahead of you. And that's what people do. So, nah, yeah. But I understand what you're saying. Yeah. You gotta leave the res if you want to make some good money. Well, not
Right.
all of us get the privilege of being born Shakopee.
Like it's like, man, like, and even, man, I look at people on the res too over here in Southern California, and like sometimes it's like they create restraints. There's some tribes down here where it's like you have to live on the res in order to get your per cap check, and it's
Yeah.
like,
Self-governing.
whoa,
Self-governing. Yeah, they're yeah, that's and the way to fix that, there's a way to fix it though. There's a way to fix it. You have to stop the psyop. That's I'm gonna say it again. You have to stop the psyop.
stop the
And it
sign.
starts, it's just all it takes a couple warriors like yourself to say, hey, we're not gonna follow this anymore. You start once you mention it, it's the 100 monkey rule. And the 100 monkey rule is if you're on an island and you teach the monkeys to use a stick to get some honey out of a tree, on another island close to them, those monkeys will start doing the same thing simultaneously. It's an odd phenomena, but it happens. They'll start using a stick too. And once those 100 monkeys do it, another 100 monkeys on another island will start doing it. It's a weird phenomena that happens, but it's the 100 monkey rule. And once you do it on one reservation, it'll slowly start spreading to the other ones. Unconsciously, without even a touch, you're like, what's and that's what's happening here, man. Whether our message, I believe our message will get out there to the people, they'll see this and even if they take one word away from it, digital sovereignty is the word, or they take away the word psyop. That is just enough to get things moving within our own community. And if you support that message, you should go to the warriorsociety.org, get your clothing line and support because that's what you believe in.
warriorsociety.org. There we go, baby. Go to warriorsociety.org. Get your clothing fixed there and make sure that you support Stormee and his movement. So it's like,
And it's trademarked. And trademarked.
there we
Don't get
go.
any ideas. It's fucker's trademarked.
So, anyways, man, where else can they find you as far as social media? Where else can they message you and ask you questions or anything like that?
Send a smoke signal.
Send a smoke signal. No psyop.
No psyop. Stop. Hey, that might be a shirt. No smoke signal. Stop the psyop.
All right, brother. Well, thank you again for jumping on the podcast with us today. I really appreciate it. The conversation was flowing. I loved it, and man, I can't wait for us to do this again, and just get more information out there. I got to check my status on the fly list now, but I think we'll be good.
Hey man, I think you're good so far, but if you ever want me to come on for like a solid one where you're like, holy shit, I never realized that. Fucking let
Yeah.
me know, man. I'll drop some bombs, as they say.
All right, brother. Well, sounds good, man. Well, thank you again. I appreciate it. Take care, brother.
Cheers.